If you can tell from my past videos, I really like Chessington. It's probably got the widest selection of flat rides out of all Merlin parks. Not to say that they're the most extreme or anything, apart from the Jungle Bus. Thorpe Park is definitely the king of thrills in coasters and flat rides, especially now that they're home to Hyperia. But in terms of flat rides, it's not exactly a competition. I'm looking at you, Retro Squad, please. But in the theme park community, it can be quite overlooked. It has a mixed identity from when it first opened. It also doesn't feel like they can make up their mind, or that's how it used to be. Chessington opened as a theme park back in 1987. The history obviously goes further back than this, but I'm just sticking to a brief overview. Do I look like Expedition Theme Park? It opened with a few family rides, including Dragon Falls, Safari Skyway, Toadie's Crazy Cars, Runaway Mine Train, wrong park. Runaway Train, which was later rethemed to Scorpion Express, and the Magic Carpet. Quantum Who? They kept expanding their array of attractions, and in 1990 they opened their most well-known area, Transylvania. Before they were owned by Merlin, they had a wide variety of rides that appealed to all target audiences and not just families. Samurai and Ramesses Revenge, being the standout thrill rides, really drew in people of all ages. But in 2007, when they merged the Two Swords Group and Merlin, they decided to slowly change the target audience over time. Not that Chessington had many thrill rides to begin with, but the ones that they did have were either closed or moved to Thorpe Park. Chessington and Thorpe have an ongoing swap game. We have their Timber Tugboat, and Thorpe Park have our Samurai. If I slide a 20, can we have it back? Since all the changes, Chessington has struggled to fit into a genre. They struggle with the height restriction, just like Legoland and Alton Towers, so they're made to be more creative with their roller coasters, keeping them covered or low to the ground. Merlin decided that Thorpe Park was the best to have the thrill rides because of their lack of restrictions, meaning now Chessington have an emphasis on family-friendly attractions, because why bother competing with the epic stealth ride? Come on, Mandrill, speed it up! Because the distance between both parks is so short, people will usually choose Thorpe Park over Chessington 9 times out of 10, especially older audiences. The strangest part about Chessington is the fact that they have rides on the edge of being thrilling, and I would argue that Dragon's Fury is more intense than The Walking Dead. The first drop and horseshoe element, especially when facing backwards, is a really great element. It can also look quite intimidating to smaller children. But the problem that Chessington are facing is because it's too close to Thorpe Park and Legoland, they're trying to accomplish a bit of both. I think the best way to describe the park is a natural progression from Legoland to Thorpe Park, especially now with Mandrill Mayhem. Chessington is also well known for its zoo, including the LUSH capybaras, which definitely didn't mysteriously all die at the same time a few years ago. While being a zoo and a theme park isn't a new thing in the UK, and a lot of theme parks started as a zoo anyway, it was one of the first ones, apart from Drayton Manor, and in recent years the zoo hasn't been as polished as usual, and this is making people believe that it might be something they consider removing, which would make me sad. I know you can argue that Chessington doesn't need it, but they do have some really great rescue work, and some of their enclosures are larger than the average zoo anyway. If they do happen to stray away from the zoo side, there would be the opportunity to fully focus on the theme park experience, but I do think they do that quite well anyway. Chessington's theming in my eyes has always been some of the better examples. When Transylvania opened, it was the first time a UK park was noticed by other countries, as it wasn't just a coaster plonked on land. There was more to it. That and a McDonald's, so count me in. I wouldn't hold Wildwood to the same standard, because it's not. They removed a lot of the scenery around the ride when the trains were changed to have this goofy stick at the bottom that looks like a telephone pole. Yeah, I'll have a large fry and some chicken nugget. This might be a sensitive subject for some, so massive trigger warning. Bubbleworks. I know, it hurts, but let's just keep it together. I'll keep it short. This attraction also opened at the area and was a fan favourite for many. Lots of people have fond memories of this classic, and even stated that it's what made Chessington who they are today. Now, would I go that far? No, I think the vampire made Chessington, no matter how many of you guys think it's a glorified monorail, I will not be having. Because of the perception of it being a children's park, it means that lots of teenagers and adults will just completely miss it. I blame JJ from Cocomelon. It gets seen as a children's theme park rather than a family one, and this is probably down to some of the marketing and IPs that they have. Again, not looking at anyone in particular. Their marketing also seems to be a bit more subtle. They never really relied on pushing their thrill attractions, as saying they had the Gruffalo there was enough for kids to be like, "Mummy, let's go to Chessington, I want to meet the stick man." Their ride selection, while really great and unique, also have a huge flaw. Capacity. Please find me the person who pitched a one-train shuttle coaster for a park that has a shocking capacity as it is. I mean, it's a great coaster, but seriously. Oh. Hold on, guys. Let me just take this. Hi, John. No, I wasn't slagging you off. Apologies. So RMC when? Hello? Hello? Listen, they're all great coasters. Okay, most are. Okay, operational ones are good. I do really think that Vampire, Mandrill Mayhem, and Dragon's Fury are absolutely amazing family coasters, and I like how they safely cross the line of being a thrill attraction without at the same time not being too much. I like that they think about the people that aren't too sure of rides, and there's something for everyone, but I could 100% see them adding a higher capacity roller coaster in the future. Something like an Intamin multi-dimensional coaster like Gold Rush, or even a Pinfari Giga Coaster. Come on Chessington, let's get that going. Chessington is full of great supporting rides, and I do think they deliver a higher quality theming than some of the other Merlin parks for most of their rides. The world of Jumanji has absolutely amazing fine details, references, and just does a great job of being an immersive experience. They do it in lands rather than individual rides, which I do prefer in a way, as there's some consistency. I do always find it really funny when I walk through Thorpe Park and one second I'm hearing some dark depressing music from The Walking Dead, and then right next to it I'm having a jungle rave. Although they do have some great themed lands, especially the newer editions, I don't think it would hurt to update some of the areas and give it a bit more, or give them some love and attention. I know that Land of the Tiger has looked a bit neglected recently, and it's a shame. Especially with the rise of Poulton's Park, I do really feel that they need to try and find their niche, or else they're going to end up getting outclassed by them, as their newer theming standards are insane. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. When the Gruffalo IP does run out, I do think it would benefit them to bring back Bubbleworks, as I can guarantee a lot of people have fond memories of Chessington from their childhood. A park tapping into nostalgia is never a bad thing, especially with new merchandise they've been bringing out for Bubbleworks, so who knows, it could happen. I also really like their events. It doesn't feel like many Merlin parks have a summer festival type of event. Their most recent one, Summer Festival, did a great job at capturing the vibes of summer. They had a foam rave, some cool shows. Chessington, give me a pair of those trousers please. I would look fabulous. And some actually interesting and nice bits of food. I do think the large problem Chessington has is capacity. They have a lot of filler attractions, but they are in need of another large coaster or something with a higher capacity. Especially with the loss of Scorpion Express, there needs to be something to fill the void. Some of the paths are also quite narrow. They had this issue with the front of the park a while ago, and that's why it was redone, and it's a very welcome improvement. And I'm sorry, but if somebody cuts me in line for Vampire, someone's nan is getting flight kicked. Another crazy fact is there's quite a few kids at Chessington. I know, crazy. I have probably seen about 12 children collide in pathways, especially in the summer. Wildwoods is so narrow sometimes that it struggles to keep up with the flow of guests. I wouldn't say that the whole park has this issue, but good god, seeing that area full of people is scary. Theme park nerds usually gloss over Chessington, even though I think it's home to some of the best and uniquely themed family rides in the UK. I also really enjoy that they're quite themed to animals. Where else can you see a hand-painted mandrill holding a roller coaster? But at the same time, America has a bald eagle coaster, so maybe it's just a skill issue. I do think Chessington is greatly underappreciated, as it was definitely one of the landmarks back when it first opened. I know it might not contain the most exciting of rides to adrenaline junkies, but I really respect what it's trying to do. The hotel is actually one of my favourites, and if you're ever debating staying, I'd say it's really worth it. You can see the animals from the hotel, and even after park closed, you have a chance to get closer to them outside. You really can't tell you're in England at all. That, and it's not a shipping container, so 3 points to Chessington. I'm interested to know how you guys would improve Chessington, or if you enjoy the park as much as I do. In the future, I could always come back to this and let you know what I'd actually like to see there, so let me know if that sounds like a good idea. If you enjoyed this video or I made you laugh, consider checking out some of my other videos. And if you're feeling cool, subscribe, because there will be more videos on the way soon. Any support you guys have given me is greatly appreciated, and it's crazy how fast I've grown in such a short space of time. So thank you again. 1,000 subscribers is absolutely immense. If we all paid £20, we can hire Colossus for an hour. What an absolute win. Thanks for watching everyone. I hope you're well. Take care nerds. I kind of feel bad. Oh, that's not great. What about, you know Chessington? Yeah, I love that place. I used to go on Bubbleworks as a hatchling. Yeah, I accidentally started a fire. You what? Whee! This is so fun! I hope I don't drop my highly flammable gasoline and flammable